Hey 12-2 family, with the new year I thought we could do things a little different. From now on I will be including a short video in the monthly newsletter covering all that is going on with 12-2. So feel free to share these videos on your social media. We had a really great year in 2017 and I want to cover all that God did this past year and what's in store for 2018. Starting off, we are currently operating at 17% of our proposed annual budget. That's pretty remarkable given the year that we've had. So I want you to keep in mind everything that I cover over 2017, what we did, what God did through this ministry. I want you to think that we did this on 17% of our annual budget, and as a dollar amount, what that comes out to is between $400 and $500 in monthly giving over 2017. It fluctuated a little bit, but yeah, just keep in mind that God did all of this in 2017, what I'm about to discuss, on a budget of between $400 and $500. And so I just want you to think, how much more can 12-2 do? How much more can God do through us if we have 100% of our budget? And so starting off, I spent a total of 23 weeks in the mission field in various places, and I'll cover each of those places. But that I didn't plan for that last year. God just kind of made it happen and opened up the doors for opportunity to take place, and a lot of partnerships took place. And so that's just a really remarkable thing that God has allowed me and 12-2 Missions to be a part of. And so I witnessed hundreds of lives transformed and come to know Jesus and God in a whole new way. And if you don't know my style of ministry, I don't count professions of faith. I look for visible transformations in people, because that's what we're about. We're about seeing transformations, and whether that's for the first time that somebody receives Christ, or the 100th time that somebody comes into contact with a very real God and a very powerful God. We want to see transformations. And so it doesn't matter who you are or where you're from or how long you've been a Christian or how little you've been a Christian. God, we seek to see transformations through our mission trips and through the various ministry things that we do. And so we saw hundreds, and if you want to read some of those testimonies, you can visit the website 12 2missions.com and read the testimonies of people that God has transformed through the various trips that we've taken. And so so I want to start with Harvey Relief. That was a terrible and very tragic situation and moment and event in Houston history, and but God used it in an amazing way to open up doors for 12-2 Missions to be the hands and feet of Christ here in our hometown. And so just a quick overview of what happened there. We raised around $850 towards the Harvey Relief effort via direct donations and the Harvey Relief t-shirt campaign that we did. We partnered with several ministries, Adventures in Missions being the biggest partnership that 12-2 partnered with, and in partnership with the Dream Center Gulf Coast, we ran a total of 10 trips to the Houston area with teams from all over the country, and just some of them were Seattle, Indiana, Colorado. We had teams from Pennsylvania, Alabama. I mean, they literally came from all across the country, and they came and they served, mucking and gutting houses, doing demolition, or just walking through the process of letting go of the things that can't be salvaged with the family members, and grieving with the family members. And then also we started rebuilding. We sheetrocked homes, we taped, we floated, we reframed, we did landscaping, and all of this done was just a blessing to these families, because they either didn't have flood insurance, or they FEMA had denied their claim, or there's a million different scenarios that has taken place. But God really opened the door for us to do a really great work in the community of Houston. The number of homes that we have taken on, and we didn't get them to completion yet, but we've worked on many homes and met many family members and families and individuals that were just in a very, very dark circumstance. And because of these teams coming through, God gave them hope again, and helped them to see that there is light at the end of this tunnel. And the work is definitely far from over, but we've been able to help in the range of 12 to 14 families, whether it's from just emptying out their home, or doing both, emptying out the home and rebuilding and putting sheetrock back up on the walls. And through these partnerships, Adventures in Missions and Dream Center Gulf Coast, we also were able to partner with several churches in the area. One of the biggest partnerships that we had in the beginning was with Lakewood Church. They were able to supply all the materials and all of the tools that we needed in order to complete the jobs that we were working on at the time. And so that was a really great partnership for that beginning season. And then and one of our 12-2 ministry partners in New Orleans, Pastor Anthony Collins in New Orleans at Timothy Trumpet of Truth Church, he rallied his ministry and his congregation together, and was able to gather all kinds of supplies, cleaning supplies, tools, clothing donations, 3 trailers full of just supplies, and brought them to Houston, and it was just a great time of payback. I mean, for lack of better words, of where we've been pouring into the city of New Orleans and Timothy Trumpet of Truth Church very specifically for several years now, and just them being able to come back and bless 12-2 missions and our ministry. It was just a really awesome thing to see things come full circle. And so I love Pastor Collins and everyone at his church. They're family to me, and so I'm just grateful for their help in our time of need, as we helped them in after Katrina. And so there's still way more to do, and there's a lot of other partnerships that I've been working on, and bringing more teams in from other organizations into Houston, and we'll be talking about that here in a sec. New Orleans, we spent many weeks in New Orleans, and again, our ministry partner there's Pastor Collins, and what's awesome is over Thanksgiving, all the trips that I have done up to Thanksgiving were done through Adventures in Missions, and I lead their trips for them. But 12-2 had its first official New Orleans trip that 12-2 hosted, and we had a pretty large team. It was a mixed team of both college, young adult, and families. We had my son being the youngest, 6 years old. Well, my son and Whitney's daughter, Eden, being the youngest, 6 years old, all the way up to young adults. And so had 19 of them, and we all had very, very few days. We only had a couple of days to get a lot done, and so we handed out groceries to Section 8 housing communities. That as we were handing out these groceries, couple of days before Thanksgiving, so many of them were just, so grateful and in awe of the fact that they didn't know what they were going to eat for Thanksgiving. And here, many of us, we know we get together with our family members, and there's this big meal, there's turkey and all the trimmings and all that stuff. And as we're handing these groceries, and it's not a Thanksgiving meal, it's meals, it's spaghetti noodles, it's pasta sauce, it's fruit, it's bread. It's got dessert items. I mean, things like that. And we're handing it to them, and they're just so grateful because they didn't know what they were eating. They didn't have food for Thanksgiving. They didn't have places to go to eat for Thanksgiving. And it was just a real blessing to be able to bless these families with that. And then also, the kids getting to be a part of that. And just everybody just really enjoyed that time. We also renovated the second story of Pastor Collins's mission housing, and we can now, instead of fitting somewhere around 40 missionaries there, we can now bring teams of upwards of 60, and possibly house multiple teams going in different directions at the same time. And so that was really exciting to see all the work that got taken, that took place. I mean, like I said, we only had a couple of days, and yet we renovated this space very quickly. We cleaned it up. We painted the walls. We fixed the ceilings. We fixed the electrical. We fixed exterior issues with the windows and leaks, and cleaning the bathrooms. And I mean, it was a massive undertaking, and yet even Pastor Collins was just amazed at how much we were able to get done in such a short amount of time. And so that was just a really great first trip for 12-2, and I'm excited to see what the future holds in store for this partnership and my family over in New Orleans. And so, moving on to Haiti, we spent 2 weeks in Haiti over the spring, and we, it was, usually I do 1 week, but it was like a drastic difference in ministry and just the experience for me of being there 2 weeks in a row, and it was a really solid blessing. I love my family in Haiti, and it was just a really awesome couple of weeks. We were able to raise $3,000 last year for the school construction, and I haven't talked about that in a while. I've been pretty focused on Harvey Relief over the last several months, but the construction continues. The John and Success Ministries has a lot of partners that donate to his ministry and are helping with the construction of the school, but it moves forwards, and every day they move forwards on it. And so it's thank you to all who gave towards that effort. And once things begin to kind of calm down, I will be giving several more updates on that very specifically. But also, while we were there, the teams got to help rebuild homes and renovate, and also new construction in the community. They helped pour cement, build a wall, fix a window. We did some food distribution. There was just a lot of just great opportunities. And so we're going back to Haiti this summer, and I'll talk about that here in a little bit. But 2017, I'm trying to keep this video update as short as possible. There's just a lot to cover, and there's so much more that I could just talk about. But it was a great year, and it was a banner year, and I'm grateful to all who have given on a monthly basis. I'm grateful to all who pray and support 12-2 missions, and I'm looking forward to 2018. So let's talk about 2018. Harvey Relief continues. Anytime I'm not doing something else or I'm not traveling to a different location, Harvey Relief is happening. We are continuing our partnership with Adventures in Missions, where I will be coordinating 8 trips between now and June. Most of those trips will be happening in the spring, and then also a couple of trips in July and one in June. And so looking forward to that. That is an amazing partnership to have and to be a part of. And just be on the lookout for updates as we lead those trips. And then a new partnership, World Servants. They've scheduled 6 trips through 12-2 missions, and again, happening in the spring and the summer. And those trips, I'm looking forward to that, coordinating and just being a part of what they're about. If you want more information, you can visit their website. But they have 6 trips planned. And then another new partnership is the ECC, and it's the Evangelical Covenant Christian organization. And I've already coordinated one trip. They brought me on kind of a last-minute emergency situation where their project coordinator was got sick or was unable to be present, and so I spent the last day with their team that was here and oversaw the project of taping and floating and doing some construction on a small church out in Sugar Land. And so it was really great to experience, and looking forward to doing more trips with them. So those are these new partnerships. That's what's kind of going on with Harvey Relief, and I'm looking forward to everything that God's going to do through the Harvey Relief effort here in Houston for 2018. Haiti, we also have a new partnership with In His Hands Orphans Outreach, where we have a trip set for the first week of July. If you want more information on being a part of that trip, you can go to the website 122missions.com under the trips menu item, and you can get more information on that. But this year our trip is going to be going to In His Hands Orphans home in Grand Savine, Haiti, and we're going to be doing some work there in the orphanage and community around the orphanage. So I'm excited about that. I actually have a phone call with one of the missionaries that live in Haiti and run the orphanage today to discuss ministry opportunities and what we're going to be doing. And so I invite anyone and everyone to come and be a part of that trip. It's going to be life-changing. And so I'm really looking forward to what's going on in Haiti this year in that new partnership. New Orleans, we've scheduled another, we're going to host another trip in mid-July, but also I've got 2 groups, one youth group and another dance group that have actually scheduled and asked 12-2 to lead their trips for them and organize and plan it for them. And so I'm looking forward to that. We've got one in spring coming up here in literally like 6 weeks. I'll be leading a Colorado team to New Orleans and doing some work there in New Orleans with the Colorado team, and then the other trip will be in June. So if you want to be on the New Orleans trip in July, again, check out the website. More information on the website under the Trips tab. With everything that's going on, I am going to be putting a call out to try and get some people to volunteer some time to come be a part of these trips with me. I'm looking for interns, but it's not going to be a paid position. But your trip, if you come and be a part of the trip, your trip's going to be paid for, and you get to come for free. You'll travel with me, and just come and kind of shadow me, and not just on these trips to like New Orleans or Haiti, but also in Houston with all these new partnerships and stuff. I need to kind of multiply myself and start putting having additional people that I can lean on that can go and project coordinate and oversee these projects as we have multiple teams present in Houston at the same time. And so I'm going to be putting a call out for interns hopefully soon. If you're interested in that, if you're interested in being a part of that, it has to be local. I can't pay. We just don't have the budget, but I can't pay for people to come from anywhere else. Now, if you're willing to cover the cost of getting to Houston, and you're willing to help me lead trips, then by all means, reach out to me and let me know. Also, be in prayer. At the end of 2019, I'm looking to expand the board, and just be in prayer about that God would. I'm not looking for interest. I'm just asking that you be in prayer about that God would give me eyes to see the people that He has placed in my life to be a part of this, that are going to be active board members that will help open up doors for 12-2 missions to grow and just expand and continue to grow in its influence. So, wrapping up, I know it's 20 minutes. I'm trying to keep these at 10 minutes, but there's a lot to cover. So, needs. 12-2 has lots of needs, but there are needs that I'm very specifically trying to focus on and praying for. So be in prayer about these things. Funding. Like I said, 17%. It's really not that much. It's hard to run a ministry, a missions ministry, on $400 or $500 a month in monthly giving. And so just be in prayer that God would move on the hearts of His people, that God would put me in front of people that are willing to support on a monthly basis, whether it's an organization or a church or whatever. Just pray that God would open doors for funding to come in. And we've gotten by, and we've done a lot of ministry, and God has provided abundantly through 12-2 supporters. And it's just be in prayer that we can, the Bible talks about muzzling an ox, and it's just, it really is kind of muzzling, because there's so much that we could be doing. There's so much that I want to do, but at times it's hard to do those things or focus on certain things, because I'm more focused on keeping bills paid or raising my own salary. And so it's a struggle, and I knew what I was getting into. And so but just be in prayer for funding, that God would provide what we need this year. And my hope is 100%, that we would be able to raise 100% of our budget. But I know that what I'm praying is that God would provide. What I want is 100%, but what I know and trust is for God to provide what I need. And so just pray that with me. And we're in need of a truck and a trailer. My little car, I love it. I'm so grateful for it. God has kept it going. It is old and it is beat up. It just cannot make these trips. I can drive around Houston with it, but driving to New Orleans, it's just not going to hold up. Driving to Georgia or any of these other places, I got a trip on the books for Boston. I'm not going to be able to make it in my little car. And on top of that, bringing supplies for trips and just luggage and moving around Houston with materials and the tools. I mean, I've got enough tools to supply a team of 40 to renovate a house, and it's hard to move all those tools around in the back of my little car. And so just join me in prayer for a vehicle, a truck or van. I don't really care what it is or how old it is or whatever, but that it runs, that it can make long distance trips, and that it can hold tools. I mean, that's why I'm asking for a truck, because that's just generally good for the type of work that I've been doing. And then the trailer is important to be able to make long trips and have it, protected. I'm talking about I have to bring groceries. I have to, I have like supply boxes. It's just, there's a lot involved when I host a trip, and there's a lot of things to bring. And so, just help me pray that God would provide a truck or something similar to do the work that we've been doing in a trailer, to pull behind it. And then also be in prayer for facilities. I'm going to wrap up with this. Right now, the team stay in churches, and that's great, and that's awesome. But my vision for 12-2 is to be a missions organization, but not just that, to have facilities all over the country that house missionaries, so that I can have bases all over the country and all over the world that we send missionaries to, and we know that it's a safe place to sleep, and we know that it's run by 12-2, and there's no worry or concern or anything like that. Not that there has been, but it's also a place and a great source of revenue to house missionaries, because as teams come in, they have to pay for lodging costs. These partnerships, World Servants Adventures, they pay lodging costs, and right now those go to help the ministries where we're staying at. And just as just thinking good business is opening up a building that has a place for sleeping, a kitchen, and showers and bathrooms. Having our own place here in Houston at the very least would be really great in order to house these teams. And so just be in prayer, facilities, something like that. I'm asking God for God to just open up doors and make things possible, and whether it's His will or not, that's on Him. But I'm asking, and we're gonna see if God opens the door and makes it happen. And so that's our 2017 year in review. That's our hope and vision right now for 2018. And I know God's going to do a lot, and I appreciate each and every one of you, all those that have been given from the beginning to all those that have just recently started giving. Thank you. Those who have been praying for my ministry, thank you. Those who have just partnered with 12-2 and just being a part of the teams, or just sharing on social media, just the many, many different facets and many different ways that you, as part of the 12-2 family, have supported this ministry. I am deeply grateful, and I just look forward to another great year of growth and seeing God transform lives, because that's what 12-2 is about, right? Romans 12:2, be not conformed to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So I love y'all, and I pray blessings over each and every one of you in this new year. And don't forget, if you haven't subscribed to the newsletter, go ahead and do that now. And also follow me on all the different social media accounts. Facebook, follow me, follow 12-2 on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all whatever it is. And if I'm not on one of the ones that you use regularly, reach out to me. I'll gladly attempt to post on that. I usually post on Facebook and keep up with Facebook. I post on Twitter and Instagram and stuff. So, but yeah, subscribe and follow. And I love you.